The ultimate despair. A group of people who caused the tragedy 1 year ago. Those same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. Those most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the mastermind's true identity. Our enemy has finally revealed. Has been revealed, whatever. But right now...
Anyway...
Right now, we have to get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest of the story can come after. Yeah, you're right. Hello, everyone! I'm the Mighty Blues, and welcome back to Danganronpa. I'm gonna be completely honest. I know there's like this crazy badass stuff going on right now. It's been almost 2 weeks since I last recorded, so I don't remember anything that happened. The only thing I remember is that we technically got the bad ending because we accidentally killed Kyoko. And then we got to retry, and then we got the proper ending, and now we're down in this hellhole. So, also Kyoko's down here with us, so I'm going to assume that she's gonna help us get out. But I don't know for sure. Hi, Kyoko. Kyoko, do you still have that one thing? Monokuma's secret tool that you got from the headmaster's room?
Indeed.
Of course I do. It's an absolutely vital part of ensnaring the mastermind. I would never part with it. And it can open any door in the school, right?
That's right.
Then we should be able to use it on that door, right? Do it! Hey, Kyoko, we can use that key of yours to open this door, right?
It's true.
Let's find out. Kyoko took out the key with the Monokuma design on it and slid it into the keyhole. Whoa. That's an innuendo for something. And then... Yes! It opened!
Indeed.
And now we can get out of here. Let's go. Also, I apologize if my voice sounds really raspy. I haven't really been using my... Okay, that's a lie. I haven't really been using much of my voice today, so I haven't really had time to, like... I don't know, warm up my voice a little bit. But also... I was up way too late last night chatting with friends and using my voice a lot, so I apologize if I don't get all the voices for the characters all that right, and also if my voice sounds really annoying, I'm sorry. Sounds good! We quickly opened the door and made our escape from the garbage pit. Finally. We were finally free. But there wasn't even time to take a breath of relief. Because the real fight had just begun. Ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death. I get the feeling this is the final chapter of the game. After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up, like a chimney. There was a metal ladder heading up into the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder, intent on reaching the surface. Why? Why do we have this shot? Come on. Oh my god. I shouldn't be surprised as knowing this game. The ladder was impossibly long. I couldn't even see where it ended. We climbed into darkness. The passages were so dark and cramped, I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. I had no idea we were so far down. Snake Eater!
Hey.
Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. Yeah, I'll be careful. Now that you said that, I'm getting kind of nervous. Listen, if Snake can climb up an impossibly long ladder, so can you. Just remember, Snake Eater. Maybe talking will help keep my mind off it. So, Kyoko, there's something I wanted to ask you. You said you're the ultimate detective, right? So, how long have you been doing detective work? How long?
So...
Ever since I can remember. I come from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. There was a time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My family's seen it that way. Then, is your family famous?
Wrong.
Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. Huh? But how come? It's like your family tradition, right? So...
Right.
Because we take pride in it. Pride?
Indeed.
A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. That is how we can uncover the absolute truth. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that, we have to stand separate from the rest of society. Which is why we made a conscious effort to conceal our existence. God, I feel like I cannot do Kyoko's voice very well. I'm so sorry. My voice is... I think I shot my voice a little bit yesterday. I'm sorry. A conscious effort?
It's true.
It's kind of old-fashioned, and I can't say it's entirely rational. But it's our family creed, and we do what we must to protect it. Because, like I said, it's our source of pride. Pride. I feel like I've heard that in an anime once. Pretty sure the characters have blonde hair or something. Talking about Prince of all Saiyans. So that explains. Before I came here, when I was looking up info about the school online, I never saw anything about her. Because she hid herself on purpose, to protect the pride of her family.
However...
And yet, I gave up some of that pride. Huh? In order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing that it was something a true Kirigiri detective would never do. But the reason you gave up that pride, the reason you would go so far to enter Hope's Peak, it was because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
What?
Reconnect? I had absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father. Huh? But you'd be reuniting after all those years, right? You would have had so much to talk about.
Wrong.
There's nothing I want to talk to my father about. Oh, relatable.
However...
There is something I want to say to him, though. What? No matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him, face to face. What is it?
So...
I want to sever all ties with him. Oh, relatable! I mean, what? Sever? The last time I saw him, I was still very young. So I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family. He was talented. He had a promising future.
However...
But he had no interest in detective work. So he cut himself off from the family. Not long after that, my mother died, and he simply ran away. He went to my grandfather, and they had a huge argument, and young as I was, he left me behind. I'm sure there's a reason for that. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him.
Right.
If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me. Because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. I take pride in my family name. So every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I had gone with him, I never would have had the chance to become a detective. I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression. So I couldn't tell. I couldn't see how she looked when she said that, what she might have been feeling. All I could tell was that compared to her usual self, she was more talkative and more emotional. I don't blame him, you know. He had his own life to live. That's what anyone in my position might say, right? But it's not true.
However...
But there's one thing I can never forgive. Really?
So...
The way everyone else looked at me. I was never sad about being left behind. Like I said, I think it was a good thing.
However...
But when the rest of my family looked at me, they saw something different. They only saw me as the little girl that was abandoned by her father. That's how they see me even to this day. His shadow has been following me my entire life. I'm sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need to step out of his shadow.
Correct.
That's why I have to find him and tell him we're no longer family. In order to settle the past. In order to remove him from my life forever. I have no doubt he forgot about me years ago. But your family, to just cut him out like that?
Wrong.
Our only connection is through blood. Nothing more. Are we connected by heart and soul? No.
Hey.
Is blood really enough to call someone family? As someone who very recently had to cut ties from their own family, I relate to this. I actually do. And I see where Kyoko's coming from. I don't think blood is enough to call someone family. It's all about your connections with them. 'Cause very little of my blood relatives am I actually, like, do I actually consider family. Only connected by blood, not by heart or soul. I was so shocked to hear her say something like that. I didn't know how to respond. So instead, I said nothing. Snake eater. I just kept climbing the ladder in complete silence. And after I don't know how long, we finally reached the top. Looks like this is it.
Indeed.
On the other side of this door, Hope's Peak is waiting for us. We're back.
That's right.
Remember that hatch on the ground near the trash room? I'm fairly certain that's where we'll come out. I unlocked it earlier, so it should open without much trouble. Well, here goes nothing. I reached my right hand up and pushed against the hatch. The hatch opened with ease, and so... Looks like we're back. But I can't believe how long that ladder was. I'm exhausted. I can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. Now we're back in Hope's Peak Academy. Kyoko, thank you. I never would have gotten out of there without you. No thanks necessary. I was just returning the favor. Man, it feels weird to be back in the school. So, now what do we do? I'm glad I didn't die, of course, but if the mastermind finds out... Oh god, excuse me. And I'm worried about you too. You helped me, so they might...
Listen.
You're worried? Yeah, of course.
So then...
Then let's just get a concrete answer. Huh?
In other words...
Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping. Wait, that's...
However...
If we try to hide, it's only a matter of time until we're found out. And it's not like we can run away. As she said that, she pointed at the nearby surveillance camera. So you're saying rather than stressing out over getting caught, we should just give up now? And don't worry, what you think is going to happen isn't. Because the mastermind is the one that's ensnared. The mastermind is ensnared? You said something like that before. What does it mean?
So...
The mastermind stood exposed during the investigation into Mukuro's death. There was a moment where the mastermind let their guard down. There was?
Right.
If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it. And it'll be better for us if we go to him directly before he tracks us down. That should help with our negotiations. I'm still a little... No, super uneasy about this. But we don't really have a choice, do we?
Indeed.
Monokuma should be in the gym.
Shall we go?
Let's get going.
Oh boy, I don't know how to feel about this.
Alright, let's go! Let's fucking go! Oh my god, I have money. Can I actually spend it? Oh my god, I can! Holy shit! I'm sorry, Kyoko. I have an addiction. You're gonna have to deal with this. I am so sorry, Kyoko. Oh my god, it's actually going to let me. Holy shit, this is amazing. Man, I only got 2 items out of that. That sucked. Well, you can definitely tell we're close to the end of the game because I only got 2 items for that. And one of them's this. I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce that name. Something coffee. Made from an extremely rare and expensive coffee bean collected from the dung of an Asian palm civet. It has a unique fragrance. Gotcha. And the only, oh wait. What? That was the only new item I got, because this was the only item I didn't recognize. We already had shears. Literally the only new item we got was the coffee. Okay. Never mind. Literally one new item.
Well now.
You know, I feel like I don't even need to replace Monokuma's dialogue with that.
Kyoko, I don't mind so much. I don't believe it. But Makoto's supposed to be dead. What's he doing here?
That's exactly how I thought he'd react. Are we really going to be okay?
You were supposed to be punished. Did Kyoko help you?
What?
So what if I did? What will you do?
If the guilty party is exposed during the class trial, they alone will be executed. It's unfortunate, but that is the rule. So now I gotta punish you again! And this time, I won't leave anything to chance. Kyoko!
Right.
Do whatever you feel you have to. What?
However,
Before you do, let me just say one thing.
no.
If you execute Makoto, that means you lose. Not that that matters to you, right?
Huh? I lose? Hey! You! Explain yourself! What do you mean by that?
Because
Well, you set up this latest class trial yourself, right? I was getting in your way, so you wanted an excuse to kill me.
in other words,
I was supposed to be chosen as the blackened and then executed, right?
Hey, what are you talking about?
however,
But then Makoto chose to overlook my lie. Your plan came crashing down. The results of the trial weren't at all what you were expecting. Because you never imagined that in that position, one person would protect another like that.
right.
And in response to that unexpected development,
Indeed.
you reacted by proclaiming Makoto, the blackened, and trying to execute him. You made the choice out of desperation. No, more than that. You must have realized that Makoto, who refused to be manipulated, was a threat to you as well.
However,
But then there was another unexpected development waiting for you. An entity that would throw a wrench, so to speak, in your precious execution machinery. Alter ego. You never imagined the possibility of a being that could come to our aid even after you killed him.
am I wrong?
Now here's the absolute truth. Makoto didn't kill Mukuro. You did.
Listen to me.
So executing Mukuro for would surely be a violation of your rules, which I know you love so much. If the blackened is exposed, they alone will be executed. That's what you told us, right?
And that means I lose? You talk a big game. You're saying the blackened is me and not Makoto? Well? And you can prove this, right?
Well,
No, I can't.
Don't just say it like that! What is this, a comedy routine? To make such bold claims without a shred of evidence?
that doesn't matter.
I don't have any right now, but with a little more time, I guarantee I'll find some.
That's right.
Because no matter how deeply you try to bury it, there is only ever one absolute truth.
And now you're trying to talk like some kind of famous detective type?
Because
If Excuse me. If Makoto really was the killer, he never would have come to you willingly like this. He would have feared for his life, feared another execution. He would have tried to run and hide. He would have been gripped by the despair you so love to inspire.
however,
But here we are, confronting you with nothing but hope in our hearts.
What the heck? And that's supposed to be enough to convince me in the absence of evidence?
indeed.
It's not you I'm trying to convince.
Hey,
If you were to execute Makoto now, everyone out there watching this would be extremely displeased. Huh?
Indeed.
Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Makoto. They would assume that you killed him because what we said is exactly right.
Listen to me.
Despair can never kill hope.
Hey,
Of course, you can say we're just making all this up. You're welcome to prove us wrong. No, you have no choice but to prove it. Because if you kill Makoto without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. If you ever want to earn our despair fair and square,
that's what we have to do.
then I suggest you would take my advice.
So, what is this advice of yours?
It's true.
To do Mukuro's trial over again. Only this time, you follow the school regulations to ensure a fair trial.
It's time for one last showdown. One final battle between hope and despair.
Whoa! Okay, I'm in.
Hey,
Well, that would make for a proper climax, wouldn't you say? Oh god, don't talk about climaxing right now. A fair trial. One last showdown, in other words. This would be our chance to expose the true identity of Mukuro's killer, of the mastermind themselves. But what reason would the mastermind have to accept the challenge? They'll probably just execute me without another word.
Interesting.
Barrett!
Very interesting indeed.
Barry!
What's wrong?
Oh, I was getting bored, so I decided to change things up a little. So, time for bear jokes. Now what you've suggested might be plausible. It would certainly make for one honey of a climax.
in other words.
Does that mean you accept?
You guys!
If we do things your way, that'll be enough to convince you and the viewers, right? And it would cause you unbearable despair, right? Then I'm prepared to agree to your terms. Will your hope win out, or will my despair claim victory?
I can barely contain myself!
Let's have one final grisly showdown. He agreed.
Then we still have a shot at this.
Barrett!
But this is the long-awaited climax, right? Just guessing the killer is barely a fitting end.
You guys!
So for this final face-off, you'll have to unearth all the mysteries that have been buried here.
All the mysteries?
That's right! Every last mystery that's pawing around the school. If you can do that,
I can barely contain myself!
then that'll be enough to qualify you as a victory for you.
It's true.
That's what we've been trying to do all along.
Okay, well, good. Then let's bear it all. If you can claw your way to the truth of Mukuro's death and solve the mysteries of the school,
You guys!
then you win. But if you can't do all that,
We all face execution, right?
I can barely contain my excitement. When you learn the whole truth, what kind of despair will you show me?
We're as excited as you are, I'm sure.
Listen to me.
When we've uncovered every last truth, how will the ultimate despair reveal their own despair? I honestly can't believe how this has all turned out.
Hey,
But before I get started, I want to clarify one more thing. Do you remember the rule? When one student kills another, that's when a class trial is held.
What's wrong?
I remember that for sure. So what?
hey,
I just want to confirm, that is what you said, right? And it's a true statement?
You don't have to be so suspicious. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. Everything is based on the school regulations. And having a trial for Mukuro is no exception to that.
Huh? Mukuro's trial is no exception? Then it's part of the regulations? Which would mean that whoever killed Mukuro...
It's a very polarizing approach, I know. But, okay, enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I already told you this, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students.
What?
Listen.
Are you telling the truth? Why'd he go quiet all of a sudden?
Hoo-hoo. Hoo-hoo.
Now I'm really angry.
I'm done talking. I've got nothing left to say to you. So get lost, would you?
Why so mad? He seems emotionally unstable.
Hey,
Leave me alone. Get out of here.
Okay, I'm going. You really gonna let me go?
I don't even care anymore. You're all gonna get your punishment later anyway. I need to start getting it ready. A super duper extra special punishment, overflowing with despair. Pooh, pooh.
Hey,
Come on, Makoto. Let's go. Okay. For a second, I thought he was alluding to the fact that the mastermind would be one of the 16 students that was in the school. But the fact that he went so silent makes me think, no. That was all a facade. Monokuma's unstable laughter seemed to cling to us as we walked away. And just like that, we were out of the gym. So the real question is, are we going to get time to gather evidence before the final trial? I hope so. I could hardly believe it, but somehow I ended up not getting
I can't talk.
Somehow I ended up not getting executed. I still had my life, and we still had a chance. Overall, things turned out way better than expected. Once again, I was in Kyoko's debt. Kyoko! Kyoko, thank you. Everything I have right now is because of you.
however,
Don't thank me just yet. The real battle is still ahead of us. Yeah, true. But still, I'm glad it worked out. I wasn't sure if the enemy would accept my proposal. But honestly, why would the mastermind agree to that? I mean, they don't stand to gain anything from a final showdown, do they?
so,
They had no choice but to accept. Huh?
because,
It's all because of that one moment that the mastermind let down their guard, like I said. So when was it that the mastermind let their guard down?
so,
I wasn't there to hear it myself. Do you remember what the mastermind said? They said they had hijacked the airwaves to broadcast our school life to the outside world, right? Yeah, they definitely said that.
listen.
And what do you think when you heard that? Pretty hard to believe, right? Well, I mean, the idea of actually taking over the airwaves seems so unbelievable.
Indeed.
You don't exactly read about something like that happening very often, so it's hard to imagine. In other words, that kind of thing is extremely difficult to pull off.
However,
And yet somehow, the mastermind was able to do it.
in other words,
But think of it another way. There must have been some reason they had to do something that difficult. A reason?
so,
They had to show the world something, no matter the cost. Us killing each other. They wanted to show the world?
it would seem,
I can show you the world. Children killing each other in a school. The mastermind has been very adamant about not killing us directly, but forcing us to kill each other. And all the rules and regulations were designed to encourage that. Yeah, that makes sense. If those stupid regulations didn't exist, nobody would have killed anybody.
in other words,
So the mastermind's ultimate goal was to make us kill each other and show that off to the world. But why?
correct.
To prove a point, most likely. Prove a point?
Hey,
The outside world has a name for the students of Hope's Peak, right? A certain concept. You're talking about hope, right?
that's right.
And for those of us who represent hope, to kill each other and sink into despair. The mastermind wants this world to see that, to try and prove that despair is better than hope. That's their goal. Oh, that's Kyoko, my bad. That's their goal, as the ultimate despair. What? They want to prove that despair is better than hope? But that's ridiculous.
It's true.
You're right. It is ridiculous. Completely irrational. It's the kind of thing that nobody but those who call themselves the ultimate despair would devise. that group whose sole purpose and motivation comes from despair. But is that really their only reason for making the rest of us suffer?
Makoto.
I know how angry it must make you, and yet that same motivation is what led to the mastermind revealing their weakness. What?
In other words,
Because their goal is to broadcast this killing game to the world. The mastermind has had to be more particular than is reasonable about their own regulations. If the mastermind simply ignored their rules, this wouldn't have been a game, but a one-sided slaughter.
at the very least.
At least, that's how those who are watching this would have seen it. And that's why the mastermind couldn't kill any of us themselves?
Indeed.
That is precisely the reason. No matter how much they may hate what I'm doing, I haven't violated a single one of their regulations. Junko broke the rules, so she was punished. But in my case... Oh, I didn't hold on. Oops, hold on. I didn't... Oh, no. I didn't... Oh, hold on. There we go. I didn't read that dialogue all the way. Junko broke the rules, so she was punished. But in my case, they couldn't lay a finger on me. So instead, they tried to use a class trial, following all their proper rules to get me killed. They began a trial that didn't have a right answer, then made me out to be the killer. But even that didn't work.
It's true.
Yes, thanks to you. And due to that failure, the mastermind took yet another risk. They attempted to kill you instead, who also was not the killer. And when that fact was exposed on live TV to the entire outside world, the mastermind had to accept your suggestion?
Indeed.
To prove that the world despairs better than hope, they had to defeat us in perfect form.
In other words,
It would only do the mastermind harm to have it shown that they violated their own regulation. But all of that was just a hunch, right? And you were still able to get the mastermind to accept your challenge?
however,
Well, it's only thanks to you that we got that chance. Because you believed in me. Another path opened up. Still, I can't believe how much of the mastermind's thoughts and plans you were able to figure out. I didn't have the slightest clue.
wrong.
In the end, though, I couldn't prove any of it. It was just my reasoning. Eventually, I was making a bet.
Whew.
But it looks like I got it right. This time, at least, I won the bet. She let out a quick sigh. I took it as a small sign of relief. To be honest, I haven't been that nervous in a long time. I totally couldn't tell you were nervous at all. You seemed totally confident from the moments we decided to talk to him. Well, presenting a strong demeanor is a fundamental part of negotiation persuasion, wouldn't you say? I am so sorry for my voice this episode. I apologize for that cut. I had to get a drink of water. I am so sorry for how raspy and awful my voice is right now. Plus, if I'd shown any uneasiness, that would have just made you that much more uneasy. Yeah, you're probably right. How pathetic.
However,
Anyway, we can't relax just yet. All we've done is earn another chance to fight. We have to win this time,
correct.
or everything we've gone through will have been for nothing. You're right. If we can't defeat the mastermind, it'll cost us our lives. There is no option except to win.
Hey,
But before we begin the final battle, we have to tell the others what's going on. True, but now we know who our real enemy is. All we have to do now is work together with everyone to destroy the mastermind. Work together with everyone?
however,
Is that really possible? Huh?
anyway,
Right now we have to go find the others.
shall we go?
They're probably in the dorms somewhere. Shall we go? Oh, we're gonna go! But I think we're gonna do that next time. This was a massive lore dump, and oh my god. I am so hyped for this last trial. I hope you all are hyped as well for it. Because this is gonna be crazy. But next time on Danganronpa, we're gonna go look for everyone else and see if we can gather enough evidence to find out who the mastermind really is. I'll see you all later. Goodbye.